Hi everybody, this is just a short video of me painting and framing my own watercolour. The picture I selected was one that I took as a photograph some years ago called Early Morning View, and it's a view looking towards the Kaikoura Mountains from where we were stopping. These are the brushes that I used. The larger brush was used for the wash at the beginning. This is just a colour chart I put together using most of my colours, basic colours, to give me a reference as to what would happen, what I'd get. This is my general table as I was using it, with the things laid out: paints, brushes, picture. The paper is taped to a glass that I use, flat glass I use for mounting. The basic painting, you'll notice I've put the diagonal lines in and the sea. I've now added some detail here where I've put the trees in, and the tree to the left and branches. Now you notice now I'm just feeding in a few of the buildings. Now I'm working on the privet hedge which is at the front, which is what the photograph was taken from behind, and I'm darkening it in as I go. See, also I've folded the tidal path on the sea, so you see some movement in it, and this is the hedge sort of finished, the top of hedge in front of hedge. So that's the painting itself. Another thing I had to do was the frame I got, which I bought from a second-hand shop. The surround on it was slightly bigger than my painting. What I had to do was paint out some of the white at the bottom of the paper, which I've done in the colours from the privet hedge. The reason for this is to stop the white band showing when it's in the picture frame. It's not heavily detailed, but by using the same colours it blends quite well. This is the back of the frame, and this is the actual picture in the frame when I'd finished. Now for actually framing it, as you'll see in a minute, we'll go through the framing procedure. Okay, this is the frame itself, and at the backboard is held in with little pins, and of course we have to remove those first. Now screwdriver is very useful for this. So what we do is prise them out. Now I'm putting them in a little plastic bag to store them, because otherwise you lose them. Because obviously you'll need to put them back afterwards. There was about 9 or 10 on the back of the picture. Now I'm just checking here that I've actually removed all the pins before I start to remove the backboard from the picture. Now this particular frame, the painting itself was a print and it was on the backboard. So you'll see when I bring it up and turn it over, you'll see the original picture. And there we go, that was what you could see through the front of the frame. Now what we've got is the insert in there and the frame in the picture. Now, this is my painting. It's taped to what was a glass door, funnily enough, off a hi-fi cabinet, which I find very useful to rest on and paint on, because the edges on it were smoothed off, there's no sharp edges. So what I have to do now is remove the tape. Now this was only packaging tape. This paper was 100 years old. I got it from a friend of my son's, whose grandfather used to paint watercolours. And so I didn't wet the paper and stretch it when I put it on. I put it on dry and just folded it over. So in a way this was a new painting for me, because I normally use Bockford. Of course, as you're taking the tape off, you try not to destroy any of your painting, because the folded edges sometimes are very handy when you're getting them in the frame. Patience is one of the things you have to have when you do this. There we go. And the painting is now off the glass. So take the glass away. There you go. That was the glass door for hi-fi unit. Very handy for painting up. Now what I'm doing now is flattening out the folded edges of the paper once I finish taking the tape off. Again, a good fingernail is very good for this. But make sure you don't rip your watercolour. You'd be very unhappy if you do. I'm just flattening it out, generally. Now what we'll do in a minute is there's the paper and it's on the table. You can see the edges where I ripped the tape off. See, it's torn across the corner there. But that's okay, the painting's fine, because I've left a border on the painting. You see the border I've painted out, of course. So you can see the border on the paper that I'd left, plus the bit that was the fold over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring over the insert that was in the picture frame. This is the actual one that came with the picture frame. Now I'm lying it the correct way up on top of my painting to make sure that where I have it is covering the borders. There's a little bit of leeway at the sides, but there wasn't from top to bottom. So I can just see the faint line of my own border for my painting, so I'm actually getting it in the framework of the insert. That's it. Now when it looks right, and this is it from the top, so there's the painting. All that is the actual cardboard insert. It's just lying on top of my painting. So what we'll do now is I'll put a few pieces of sellotape on the underside. We'll just tack the watercolour to the underside of the insert. I find it easier to pre-cut some pieces of paper and I just stick them on the table. Then when I need to put a piece of tape on, or should I say tape to the edges of the table, when I need to put a piece of tape on, without cutting it, I can just put my hand out, pull one up, and I can generally get at it. So there's a little bit of prep work in that. I use the same method when we're wrapping Christmas presents. Now obviously I don't want it to come out of line, so I'm being very careful to make sure that the picture stayed, or the border of the picture is still in the framework of the insert. Don't rush this, it's very important you get it right. So take one of the pieces of tape. I've moved the painting and the cover, so I'm just making sure it's back in line. That's it. So we'll take a piece of the tape, we'll tack underneath with a corner of the paper this against the frame. This is only just to locate it. Notice my hand on top to make sure that the two, painting and the frame, the inside cover, stay together, don't move. I'll just trim the edge. I'm doing the other corner across the bottom. generally because that's the piece overhanging the table, so I can actually get at it. Now once I'm sure it's located, and I'm just checking again, just to make sure that top corner is lined up still. I'm sure it's located. I want to turn this over. There we go. I'm just making sure that the original ones are stuck down still. Okay, so that is the painting inside just the insert. So I'm happy with that. Just put a few more bits of tape on just to make sure it's steady. Now, turned over, there we have the picture with the insert over the top of it, and they're secured together nicely. So we're getting near to finishing this off. Bringing the camera across, looking down, there we have it, that's the picture with frame, the insert frame over the top of it, and it's stuck together. So now we can put it into the frame itself. So, lift this out of the way. And slide it into the frame. There we go. And it fits perfectly. Now I'll bring that around. That's just held in the frame. We haven't put the backboard in yet. So we'll bring the backboard up, the one with the original picture. As it happened, we'll have the original picture facing against the back of my watercolour. It won't show through. I'll slip the backboard in. Make sure it seats down nicely. Press it down all the way around. And just check it. Just check it looks right from the front. And there it is in the back. Now, what we'll do, just turn it over and just check. There we go. It still looks okay. So now what we're going to do is secure the back on. I'm only showing you me putting the pins back in because once they're in, it's secure. After this, it will be taped up, so there'll be tape across the back, which also keeps damp out. Just get all the pins out in the plastic bag. They're very small, so you have to watch them. As it happened, my screwdriver's got a magnetic end, so it does actually pick them up. because these are magnetic. Or should I say they contain iron, so they will go and stick to the magnet. So we find the little location slots. I'm looking carefully here because where they were before, it's left a little dark line on the backing board, which is a sort of hardboard backing board. So that little line shows me where the place is, put them in. So you can find the little slot, push them in with a screwdriver, and I'm just checking there's not a slot underneath, and I put them in. This is one of the most difficult things for me because I have to do this without my glasses on because my vision is quite short. So I'm quite close up for these. The fun starts if I drop one of these pins on the floor. There we go, and I push the pin in again and it locates it. So we've now got all the pins in. We have one completed picture in its frame. There it is from the back. Now I'm going to turn it round, and there you have it. That is the watercolour, which we've just removed from the backing of my glass backing board, and this is the watercolour up on the wall. I hope you enjoyed that.